The information contained herein is intended to help the viewer successfully navigate common IRS and Department of Labor requirements to help achieve successful results from their IRA. The information is not intended to replace information from your legal counsel or income tax professional. IRA Club does not offer or sell any investment. All investments have risk.
So, welcome to another episode of the IRA Club podcast. Kasia, my co-host, Mrs.-Baldus, I'm so excited to have you. I have been working with you for years. This has been a long time coming, Kasia. We've been talking about doing a podcast for the better half of almost a decade. So it has finally come to fruition. It's not that we didn't want to get to it. It's not like we're not experts in this topic of self-directing, but this is the focus of our podcast, right? Is to educate, get the word out, talk about retirement, talk about different strategies, talk about alternative investments, and just open up doors and opportunities for our people. But myself, Ramez, I am the vice president of IRA Club, approaching now, I think going on 8-9 years, been traveling with the company. But I would say you are my right-hand man, or I should say woman, my apologies. But Kasia, it wouldn't do me justice to introduce you. Why don't you tell everybody what it is that you exactly do here at the IRA Club, and just take a little bit of time and introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thanks, Ramez. I'm honored to be on our podcast. Like you said, it's been a long time coming. I have been with the IRA Club now for almost 7 years. I started off traveling to events like you did.
Yep.
So that was great because I was able to meet clients, talk to them in person, look at all the different investment types, and really understand what self-directing is. I was thrown in there, and I loved it. I then started working at the office a few months later, but it was a great opportunity for me to learn firsthand what self-directing is and who our clients are. I wear many hats.
Yes, you
Just
do.
talking about this, and
Yes,
a lot of us in the office wear many hats. We are great multitaskers. We are able to see things at different points of views. And so currently I am the sponsor care manager. I was the client care manager. I do a little bit of marketing as well. And I really focus on our investment providers. So folks who have investments that they want to present to those looking to self-direct, I make sure that everything is going smoothly and that our mutual clients or mutual investors are happy.
Yeah, listen, Kash, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more because I think you're not doing this enough justice, okay? For those of you that are listening, okay, I didn't really take too much time to talk about myself on the previous episode. We wanted to give Dennis, our founder, our president, the person who actually created the IRA Club, a little bit more time on that. But for those of you that, again, are listening for the first time, Kash is the person who actually trained me. So I owe a lot of where I'm at today because of you, and I wanted to thank you and take the time to acknowledge that. But really, yeah, you did, hone me because let me tell you, Kasia, you know this better than most. I am computer illiterate when it comes to anything that when I first walked in. You know that better than most. You're actually the one who taught me a little bit about our CRM Salesforce right when I walked into it. It was a beast. But with that being said, didn't want to get too much off topic. I wanted to maybe take the time to talk about how since I didn't have the opportunity in the last episode, is to how I got started into the self-directed space. And it's funny how you always do things about a girl.
Yeah, love has a lot to do with it. A lot of decisions we make in life are because of the ones we love.
Love, yeah. So and again, for those of you that are just tuning in, this is your first time on the IRA Club podcast. You hold a little bit of a special spot in my wife's heart, right?
Yeah.
What were you at our wedding? Just out of curiosity.
I was Vanessa's maid of honor.
Yeah. So Kasia is very close to not just me, but to my wife. Not just taught me a lot about what I know, especially with the travel aspect of it, but listening to the very first time when I first started traveling 9 years ago now, going on 9 years, you were at the event with Vanessa and Dennis, and I was in the audience, and I just sat there just like you, the listener. And what I did was I was blown away, right? Let me start by saying I was blown away because I never thought about money the way that I did until I got to the event.
Yeah.
It was always, for me, it was like always the here and now. I didn't think about the future because I was younger, right? I was only 29 years old when I first heard this. So with that being said, and by the way, this was like over a decade ago, but I've been with the company now for closer to a little over 8 years. But what I did was I applied what I heard from Dennis, from Vanessa, from you, and I applied it to myself without you guys even knowing. If you guys remember this clearly, I had an account at Vanguard, and I moved it over. It was an old employer 401k. I moved it over to the IRA Club, and I actually bought my very first, if you remember, parking spot. Yep, I bought my very first parking spot. And that's kind of where we wanted to lead this next part of the conversation.
Sure.
Alternatives, right? That's what IRA Club does. So if you were to say it in a nutshell, what would be the best way to characterize or break down who is the IRA Club to those that are listening for the first time?
So simply put, IRA Club is a retirement administrator. So that is simply put that we will administer your IRA account, solo 401k, HSA. So we deal with retirement dollars.
Yep, correct.
The term self-directed is where we're going to spend a lot of time on these podcasts explaining to listeners out there, what does self-directing mean? Self-directed IRA, self-directing, so whether it's an adjective or a verb, the self-directed IRA is a powerful tax-sheltered account that allows you to invest in anything that you would like for your future, as long as the IRS approves it. And so we have probably tons of listeners out there. Okay, well, Apple stock, Walmart stock, Coca-Cola stock, maybe some real estate REITs here and there, a little bit of oil and gas, but really the options are endless. And that's what I think a lot of people that go to these events, that listen to these podcasts, that hear us speak, that go on our website and look at some blogs and some articles that we've written in the past, they don't understand that it really is whatever they would like. And what we say is invest in what you know. Going back to your first self-directed IRA investment is parking spots. You live in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for many years. I just moved to the burbs, but I'm still Chicagoan at heart.
Yeah.
Parking spots, we understand the value and how precious parking spots in the city are, how expensive parking in Chicago is. And so you took the knowledge of what you knew, real estate, parking spots, and you applied that and took your Vanguard account, moved it over, made it a self-directed IRA, and then invested in that parking spot. And that's what a lot of our clients do, is they will invest in an alternative asset,
Correct.
such as parking spots, such as real estate, precious metals. The list goes on and on and on. And again, we don't want to spend too much time going over the list today.
Yeah.
We'll dive deeper on future episodes. But anything that the IRS allows you to invest in, you can invest in. But it has to be with a specific administrator, such as IRA Club. This is why Dennis created IRA Club. If you listen to our previous episode, the story of how it began, he started self-directing. He was really passionate. He saw the opportunity. He saw that there are savvy investors out there looking to diversify their portfolio, looking to maybe get a little bit out of the stock market. They're approaching retirement. They're ready to get off that roller coaster. So they want to diversify. They want to purchase an asset that's tangible, that's creating cash flow, that's appreciating. So real estate, parking spaces, precious metals, there are only 3 categories that you cannot invest in.
Which are?
It's really simple. First one is going to be an S Corp.
Correct.
The second one, your own life insurance plan. So unfortunately, you can't use retirement dollars for your own insurance, life insurance plan. And the third one is going to be collectibles.
Correct.
And
what's an example of a collectible?
yeah, great question. So baseball cards, vintage rugs.
What about my expensive bottles of wines I have at home?
Unfortunately, no. I know you like wine.
Yeah.
And you probably have some great bottles.
Yeah.
But, you always introduce me to great wine, so thank you.
My previous life, right? My the hospitality side of me.
But yeah, no, unfortunately, no wine, no art. It's hard to put a value on that. The IRS, might say that we don't know what this piece of art.
So you're telling me my 3-year-old daughter's stick figure in my eyes is worth $1 million? I can't put that on a Roth?
Fortunately, no. Yeah, someone might say that that's worth $1, not $1 million.
That's so unfortunate.
hard to put,
So unfortunate.
value
Ava, if you're listening out there, I know you're in school. I love you, babe. It's
up
$1
the good
million. It's $1 million in my eyes.
And it's also sometimes hard to so many things are now counterfeit nowadays. So I don't know if you ever
Very
watched
true.
that documentary about that wine.
Oh, yeah.
That took off the labels.
Crazy
and
story.
was selling
Yeah, oh, wow.
Fake wine. So yeah, it's hard to put a value on collectibles, and it's hard to know what is real. So there are 3 categories, and that's it.
And that's it.
And that's it.
So, just so, again, I'm elaborating a little bit on that. Many of our listeners that are listening have, right, retirement accounts at Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab. I'm always going to reference these 3 because we call them the big 3 in our industry. And again, self-directing, again, the terminology behind it, okay, just to make everybody clear so they understand this, is control. So when, for example, your broker-dealer or one of the other traditional broker-dealers, there's 10,000 that are out there, and many of you that are listening, 97% of you, in fact, actually have your retirement accounts within 3 places, right, Kasia? What are the 3 places?
So banks.
Yep, CDs.
Yep. Insurance.
Annuities.
Yep.
And the majority is in the rest of it. I'd say 92% plus is in the stock market.
Yep,
but that is not our definition of self-directing, right? So be careful for those of you that have old employer 401ks, for example, IRAs, HSAs, all qualified retirement accounts, Kasia, can be self-directed. Yes. But when a broker tells you that you could self-direct with us, what they're basically telling you is what, Kasia?
You can pick your own stock. So yes, you have the freedom to self-direct. I'm using air quotes right now, if you're listening to us. So yes, you can pick your own stock, but that's it. You're not going to be able to pick a house or a multifamily syndication or bars of gold. So you are able to pick stocks, but you're not able to pick all the various alternative asset classes
that are out there. And by the way, there's a whole slew of them, right? There, just to keep it in better perspective for those of you, again, that are listening, the real differences, and the best analogy, Kasia, that I always like giving, right? And when you think of the Fidelities, Vanguard, and Schwabs of the world, and IRA Club, is, you said it, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. That's all you get. That's all you could either self-directing, or forgive me, if you're also using a fiduciary, for example, or a registered investment advisor, they could only are allowed to choose what the pool of investments are sitting within Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab, or, for example, whatever, again, the securities license allows them to do. So many of them, they have a Series 6 or Series 7. Unfortunately, that's what you're stuck with, right? IRA Club, on the other hand, we've been talking about it, me and you back and forth, allows you to do whatever makes you happy. It gives you true flexibility. There's only one catch, Kasia. What is that catch? What can't we do for our clients?
Great question. So this might come to a shock, but we are not going to pick those investments for you. We are not financial advisors.
What you said, the one thing that we can't do, right, is choose the investment for the investor. Financial advisors, registered investment advisors, they're actually the ones that are going to be choosing the investments for you versus the IRA Club, us not being financial advisors. Correct me if I'm wrong. We, right, cannot choose the investment for. Nobody here at the IRA Club could do that. No employee. Because it defeats the purpose of what self-directing is all about, right? We're trying to take the control away from the Fidelities, Vanguards, and Schwabs of the world and giving it to our investors.
Absolutely.
Now, Kasia, you know, and I know, I come from a massively big family, right? My mom's got 9 brothers and sisters.
Tell them how big your sister's wedding.
I don't even want to get like 900 plus people. It was almost 1,000, to be honest with you. So the point I was trying to make is, you know, I have my fair share of lawyers, doctors, right, registered investment advisors and fiduciaries.
Yep.
And Kasia, let me just say, me and you were talking about William, who just so happens to be my cousin. And let's just say he doesn't invite me to the family get-togethers because he is a financial advisor. I'm not going to mention for who and why and where. But basically, I educate his clients on this strategy, all right? And let me tell you, everybody that is listening again, we do not have a problem with financial advisors or registered investment advisors. In fact, we have thousands that actually utilize. They utilize our services. So again, the name of the game is educating you first, to getting you to think outside the box, because as we go on from episode to episode, you're going to start to realize something, Kasia, and you know this firsthand. Our retirement system is broken.
Yes.
And we need to take control of our retirement, all right, in order to generate that financial freedom, that wealth, that legacy, to pass it along to your heirs. And for us, you know, another topic of discussion we'll talk about later is fee structures, right? We're not here to talk about that right now, but there is a substantial hit that people take. In fact, it's almost 30+% of what they're going to make within their retirement account. In particular, those that have employer plans, 401ks, those fees typically are somewhere between 2.5% to 4.5%, especially within the first 5 years. These are things you go Google yourself. This is not something I'm saying or educating you on. So we also want you to be able to do your own due diligence when you're self-directing, right? That's another key, when we're going to talk about that in the near future, is how to perform your due diligence. But with all that being said, what would you say the biggest strong suits are about the IRA Club? Because most people, Kasia, as you well know, don't really understand it, or maybe they've heard about it, right, at an event.
Sure.
But why don't they move forward? So what is it that we could do to help, not just the educational side, but how can we help them move forward and take the first step?
Yeah. So one thing I want to kind of piggyback on is you talking about that we are not financial advisors. And I've been with IRA Club for 7 years. My background is working at a company that some of you might have heard of called Nordstrom. And one thing that most people know about Nordstrom is how great the customer service is. That's what the Nordstrom brothers have preached since 1901, when the company was founded, is to provide great service, to always say yes to the client, to really put the client first. And that has been in my blood for many, many years. You come from entrepreneurship, hospitality, you own your own businesses, you own your own restaurants. A lot of our employees have various backgrounds. We've hired a couple teachers, right? They are naturally, they have teaching in their blood. We have a team here who is hardworking, who is ethical, who...
Starting with our leader, Dennis, who I very much appreciate.
We heard on the last episode why he started this company. It's not we're not here to chase that dollar, right? We're here to educate our client. We're here to open those doors. We are going to provide great service to our client. We're going to assist them along the way. We're not going to manage their account. We're not going to pick their investments. We're not going to say, hey, this just came up. You might want to check it out. It's a great deal. We don't do any of that, right? We can't. We cannot. And the team here is really focused on giving great service, is providing that hand-holding if it is what you'd like. Some people are super tax savvy. They want to do everything on their own. That's fine. We have the systems in place. We're working on launching an app soon. So we understand that there are two types of folks. Some people that prefer to talk on the phone. Some people that want to do a DIY version. But we really believe that we are here to help our clients. That's why we come into the office. Right? We understand the pulse. We understand what's going on. It's easier to talk to different team members. It's quicker. We know what's going on, right? We have a pulse on our clients. So we come to the office. We're a hardworking team. We are ethical. We are loyal. And so, not to piggyback on your question, but I think it's important to go back to, we're not financial advisors. We're administrators, so we're going to make sure that everything is IRS compliant. So our team receives great training. They understand all of the rules and regulations. Those are always changing. So we know what's going on. We can then pass it on to our clients. But we're here from the very first step. If you want to talk to us, if you want us to help you with your application, if you have an investment in mind, just give us a call. We're going to answer the phone.
But that's the thing. I don't want to go too deep into the process, but I really, really want to drive this home. IRA Club's not a call center.
No.
Right?
Nope.
We're not like, the classical brokerage firms is bigger. Press 1 for 2, press 3 to speak to. No, you call, you're going to get the receptionist, right? And every single IRA Club client is assigned an IRA Club specialist, right? That is trained by you and the team, right? So we are all on the same page. Why? Because we have the right systems in place. I like to call it a systems of checks and balances. That was really honestly created by Vanessa and Dennis from day one, right? And that's why I give them also kudos. But it's also, if you're lost, I don't know what to do. Kasia, how fast do we respond to people's emails? Like within the same day or if not in the next business? Yes, literally. It's like if not the same day, the next business day. I don't know what form to fill out, right? Call, right? We never want you to be lost through this process with us. Our job, to your point, is to handhold you to the point where you do this once,
Yes.
you do this twice, you'll probably never call us again, which we don't want.
Right. Give us a call. But
give us a call.
You'll be more confident, and then you'll understand the process.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely call us for the first 1 or 2 investments. We want that. We want to make sure that everything is done smoothly and that you're comfortable so you can continue to self-direct and
Correct.
control.
Correct. And listen, I just also want to take the time to address something else. You know, most people think within our industry, like, Kasia, we have a problem, like, with people investing in the stock market. That is not the case.
No, not at all. We 90% of our employees are invested in the stock market as well.
Yes.
We want to diversify.
Yes. And you know, and another...
There's nothing wrong with
There's nothing wrong with it. And just to be clear, we offer...
Yes.
different types of solutions, right? Different, not just the strategies that we're talking about, which is self-directing and alternatives, right? Because we believe in, you know, the ability for somebody to create double-digit returns versus the standard 6, 7, 8% that people are receiving in the stock market when we look at things decade by decade within employer plans. So what we're trying to do is accelerate that.
Yes.
So we do have a trading platform, right, Kasia?
Yeah, you've been working very hard on this. At
A couple of years later.
A couple extra gray hairs.
Yeah, a couple extra gray. Yeah, they're definitely there. But
this was, we created this solution, right? Because this was a problem, and we wanted to be a one-stop shop for clients.
Yes.
We wanted to allow them to invest some of that idle cash in their account. Maybe they would like to transfer a little bit more over from their current custodian.
Correct. Yeah.
To invest in you know, just a few stocks, and they want to do it on their own, or they want to, this is really exciting,
Yeah.
have AI technology.
So
for them.
yes, and again, that will be a definite big topic of discussion. I will have Randy Tate here in the near future actually discuss the AI platform and a company that we've also partnered with that we worked very hard, very diligent. Their IT teams, our IT teams, like you said, it took us almost 2 years to put this all together. We're super excited about it, but it does not mean we have a problem with the stock market at the end of the day. Many of our clients are day traders, and they like to have their accounts at Fidelity, Vanguards, and Schwab's, again, of the world. I'm always referencing these 3. I'm sorry if I am. I'm not trying to point them out. Many of you have accounts elsewhere. But yes, you could have 2 different accounts. You could have as many retirement accounts as you want, right? It's just the contribution limits don't change.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, you know, and we could talk about this, what are some other things that we do offer at the IRA Club to our current clientele base?
Great question. So we always want to go back to the education piece, whether it is your first investment or maybe your 5th investment in alternatives. Education is key.
Yes.
So we are constantly on the road, meeting people face-to-face at live events, webinars. We have folks join us on webinars. We join other folks' webinars because we want to educate people on the process, the rules, and we want to get them started. We want to teach them all of the different options. So we provide education, blogs, videos, emails, newsletters, webinars,
courses. I mean, we could keep going. An events page. So it's literally, there's a whole slew. There's hundreds of man hours that you could spend going through all of this, right? It's not just we're throwing you to the wind over here. Right. It's like, here, you're on your own. You open up the account, go do your thing. Yep. No, that's not the case. That I promise you. You have you have my word on this, or money back. You will never ever be lost. Okay, we promise you that. Okay, that's the number one thing that I want to drive home on this episode. Is it's not difficult. You just have to take the first step after you educate yourself, because at the end of the day, Kasia, everything is working against your retirement account, especially now more than ever. We know that the markets are very volatile. We know that, you know, taxes will never be lower than where they're at right now. We know inflation, although heading in the right direction, is still here to stay. All right, and it works against your retirement account when you have it within the markets. And we know that every single government program's in shambles, right? Sure. Pensions are no longer being offered. People are living a lot longer. We talked a little bit about AI, which pretty soon we're gonna have these robots that are gonna extend our lives to like 90 to 100. Hopefully within my lifetime, cure cancer. All that's what I'm trying to say is, people are living a lot longer, and their money is not going as far as it once did. Okay, so what are the answers to all this? Self-directing. diversification, thinking outside the box. These type of strategies is going to be the focus of our podcast. And as you mentioned, we're going to be bringing on resident experts in their fields to talk about these different types of strategies in the near future, because we want you, our listener, our clients, our students, our members, to learn the strategy and hopefully pass it along to who? Our kids, grandkids, God willing, we're here. And that is going to be, again, the focus of IRA Club. I just, before we shut it off, Kash, I'm hope to have you here for many more podcasts to dive in deeper into these different type of, strategies, again, that are out there, not just the self-directing side within your retirement account. If somebody was interested and they just, again, wanted to learn more, where can they visit us, Kasia?
They can go to our website, iraclub.com.
IRAClub.com.
We have a scheduled call section. They can definitely send us an email, give us a call. As Ramez said earlier, call us. We will pick up the phone. We will pick it up.
Or
ask for Ramez and I.
I don't mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Just kidding.
But keep in mind, I'm on the road
130,
140 days out of the year. But if you're an educational junkie, right, and you just wanted to go ahead and just learn a little bit more on your own, which I'm totally stoked that you're doing that. That makes me feel happy at the end of the day. Kasia, how many books have Dennis written the last
17,
18? For all of you that are listening that just want to take a little bit of time to educate yourself, Dennis's latest book is called Money Making Ideas Within Your IRA or 401k. Would highly recommend that you read it. It's absolutely for free as part of you joining our group, our club, as I like to say it out loud. Would want you just to at least take that first step. It's for you. It's for your future. Visit IRAClub.com. Come see us at one of our events. We host about 10 to 15 webinars where all over the country. And again, we've been around the block one too many times, and it all starts with you, with that first phone call. Whether you also want to schedule a call, with the head of our onboarding team, Mandy. Please give Mandy a call. Your time is just as valuable it is to us, and we just want to ensure that you're in the right type of retirement account. And it all focuses again with education being the focus of it. So. You got to take risk at the end of the day, but take educated, calculated risks. We look forward to seeing you at our next episode and our next podcast. And Kasia, happy investing is the right thing. Thanks, Kasia.
Thanks, Ramez.